just chickenArise has got to be one of the best usernames in
Yeah,
this tournament this week,
definitely
I
one of the
think.
good ones for sure.
Although I guess you got Calm Dog. That would be another. That's another good one.
Always some good ones there. Alrighty, let's get our players good to go, and there we go. They are off. All right, we've got a starting hand for Shadows kept 3 power, a Wump and Mizo, a Grand Builder, a Vicious Overgrowth, and a Maveloft Hunter. So pretty good start with them.
Oops.
And on the
Yeah,
other
I think
side,
Mulder.
chickenArise keeping 2 copies of Moldermuck, Exploit, Scrounger, and Display of Menace.
Yeah, Muldermuck is going to do some serious damage, I think, in this in these games. It's just such a cool card, you know. And if you can get regen on it, which I don't know, I don't suppose they do. Do they have? Yeah, they do have the ability for with the Vine Grafter.
Vine
So if you get
Grafters, yeah.
regen on it, that's pretty sweet too.
Exploit took that Wump and Mizo. That's nice timing for that, being able to get a Wump and Mizo out of the hand, because it's a little tough to kill, but getting that out of the hand before Shadows can get that online. And a Moldermuck down. First one to play some action. chickenArise getting the Exploit on time on the play, and then following that up with a Moldermuck, making now 2 3/3s. That's pretty good. Pressure is on. Playing a second one here on turn 4. Pressure is
Yeah,
definitely on. Shadows now going to play from behind the rest of this game.
I was sort of worried about power for chickenArise, but the Seek power there was pretty sweet. I think, especially with Iraq coming up.
Yeah, now they have the Justice there. What is the Justice for? How'd they even get that? They're playing Justice Sigils. What are they playing in their deck that requires Justice?
It's for the display of ambition,
Oh, right, the Display of
which
Ambition.
that it acts for removal. It also acts for recursion. Just getting stuff out of your out of your void. So it was it was a really sweet deck. Watching Doc 28 play it this week, so it's just kind of cool.
Yeah, it's super interesting. And something with the faction requirements that are pretty interesting and kind of unique to Eternal is that you really, unless you have a card that really needs like multiple of one faction, it's actually fairly easy to get one of every faction. You'd think that playing like a 4 or 5 faction deck is difficult, but if you only need one pip, it's actually not that hard to just splash for
Yeah.
one off fire or one off justice. We saw that in the open too. Just playing 4 and 5 faction decks, as long as you're not looking at double pips, it's pretty easy to do so. So this deck kind of looks like it's primarily Feln, but then a little bit of fire, a little bit of justice, and if you're just splashing those, it's pretty trivial to do in Eternal actually.
So, I mean, I imagine chickenArise is just going to attack and then play the Scrounger, perhaps, to get back the Display of Menace. But I mean, I could be wrong. But
Yeah, there we go. Attacking in with these Molder Bugs, making a ton of them here. Hitting for 4 damage, and then, yeah, I like that play. You can either play the Iraq or I like, oh, Scrap Tank actually here. Let's just get even more units. Oh. Pretty good. All right, Maveloft Huntress, though. That's going to be a good answer. That's going to have to take out the Scrap Tank before it goes nuts.
Yeah.
But again, we talked about Shadows playing from behind, and all they have left in hand is a Condemn. So things looking a little dicey here. Going to Trove into a
they're
Silex.
at 17. They're at 17,
true.
and these Moldermucks can't do anything at this point, or at all now. They can't attack, so they'll just die. So
that's true. Yeah, there you see, just attacking with the 2 Grenadins there. Here you go. This is the play you called. Let's play the big pig. Let's sack one of those 1/1s and get back display. And you're right, these 1/1s, they're not doing much, but what they are doing is sack fodder. Being able to make your Moldermuck attack, do a bunch of damage, and then have a bunch of sack fodder for drawing more cards, that's pretty useful. Turn your threat into value.
Yeah, so I wonder what the choice is. Okay, Grafter. That's good for sure. So they'll probably play Grafter next turn and then make Iraq 2/4, I would think.
Huntress the draw for Shadows. That's something. So Shadows can play Huntress, can plunder away the extra power in their hand. Fortunately, it's 3/1 Huntress. I mean, yeah, you can take out the pig, but
well, as soon as they get Helio. I mean, they just kind of reload their hand
That
with
is true.
good stuff.
Interesting exploit here. I mean, Shadows hasn't really done anything the last few turns. I don't even know if you bother firing off that exploit at this point.
Yeah. I mean, because what would they
Right, what would you take? Like,
what would
if
they have?
Shadows had anything relevant to play, they would have played it already. So they have 7
I
power,
mean,
all
I
the
guess
influence they
the
need.
I mean, I guess the hope would be that you hit a Helio, but
Yeah. All right, going to go to the market with that Vine Grafter, as you mentioned. Got Combust, From Beyond, Haunting Scream, Dark Purveyor, and Align the Tesseract. Ooh, Tesseract could be really nice here. Sack all these Molder Mucks, all these 1/1s.
uh, well, they're not.
Oh, they're not
They are
Grenadin
not
though. Yeah,
Grenadins.
dumb
Yeah.
comment. Sorry about that. Forgive me, chat. You're right. They're not Grenadins. So not gonna lower that cost. So my mistake. But yeah,
Which is kind of a bummer, you know? Like,
they just look
could
like a
you
bunch of,
imagine
when
if
I'm
they
used to seeing
were?
a bunch of 1/1s on the board, I just assume they're Grenadins.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if they were, oh my god, that would be insane for this deck.
Busted there. All right, going to condemn and play out a Grand Builder. Now they did the condemn went and got the Plasma Primordial. Now that's a pretty sweet card. I
Oh
don't know
wow.
if it's as good on the back foot though. With chickenArise having 6 cards in hand, market access, and board advantage, it might not be enough. But yeah, Plasma Primordial 4/8 for 6. When the enemy player plays a spell, they discard every copy from their deck, and every turn you get a 3/1 with Killer. So pretty powerful card there. But
Wondering why they're attacking just to clear their board because they all just die.
you. All right, gonna play out the Razor Shaper first. A
Make
couple Razor
room.
bots. Now we're gonna attack. Decay is gonna take all those out. Shadow's gonna eat Grenadin. And maybe just opening up some space for the board. Get some units into the void. I think that's probably to set up
Yeah,
Dark Purveyor.
yeah, yeah,
Because Dark
totally,
Purveyor is now
totally.
at 18. So pretty heads up there.
So
Now
this
you
is
can just dark.
basically game
It's just
over.
game, yeah. With that, you can Dark Purveyor onto Razor Shaper. I didn't put that together either. The Molder Muck getting a bunch of units in the void is really nice.
Yeah,
I like that synergy a lot.
sweet. That
All
was a
right,
good game.
chickenArise is going to take that one. Game 1. That was a pretty good game. That was a little bit of who was on the play because chickenArise had pretty much all the advantage from the very beginning. Had that key exploit, taking out Shadows as an early play, and then having the Molder Mucks 3 and 4. That was a pretty well timed curve there for
Yeah, I
chickenArise for
think
sure.
Moldermuck is just, one, it's just a cool card, right? It's cool looking. It spits out units. It's just, gives you fodder for sacrificing things. So I don't know. It's just kind of just a really cool card.
Yeah, it kind of
And
does
it's
it
a
all,
news.
right?
It's a news. So why wouldn't it be awesome?
Right, exactly. Well, we can thank Cassandra for that for sure.
For sure.
Alrighty. Well, they're ready for game 2. So it looks like we've got Shadows on the play this time. So that'll help Shadows a little bit, not falling behind too much. Good hand, too. We've got a Condemn, a Jarrall, a Grenahen, and a Wisdom of the Elders. So pretty nice there.
That
It
sounds
does.
much better than
Yeah,
last time. Right?
for sure. Looks not the display bug there in the hand. You can see, look at the hand cam, those 5 cards. We're not looking at the 20 or whatever you're seeing there in hand. Grabbing a Genev Merchant off of the Grenahen. Turn to exploit.
Yeah. Turn to exploit.
Don't
Get
ask
some power too.
don't ask people on Reddit what they think of turn to exploit.
Oh right, I saw that. I mean, I've been there. I don't like the card either, but I also like the card when I have it. Like when it's in my deck, it's great.
Can be very frustrating to play against for sure. Exploit going to take out Jarrall and Plunder away to make sure that chickenArise hits their 3rd power in the maybe underappreciated mode, but that Plunder on Exploit is really good too. Just really helps you hit your power drops, make sure you're not missing, in addition to taking the best card out of your opponent's hand.
Yeah, I wonder if was Scrap Tank the right card though to get rid of. I don't know. Just seems like maybe I would have kept that, but
Yeah,
I
potentially.
don't know.
But again, you got turn 3 Molder Muck, turn 4 Molder
That's
Muck
true.
if chicken hits their 4th power here.
I mean, I guess you were quite a few turns away from it, so it's probably chickenArise knows what they're doing. I don't.
All right, Jarrall going to
Ooh,
come down, plus
TK.
the Nectar of Unlife going to decay on that. That's pretty good. That's going to make that Molder Muck a little bit less useful. Now, just a 2/2 as a starting point. Crafty Occultist, one of the most busted cards to come out of the new mini set here. 3/3 summon, discard 2, draw 2, and then you get some advantage from getting a 1/1 Grenadin and potentially a flyer. So, pretty nice card there. We saw it all over the open, and I'm sure it's going to last here for a while unless anything changes,
Yeah.
because that's just so much value packed into a pretty nice body, too.
And giving it flying, especially in a deck like this, is, you know, it won the game last game, and they're probably going for the same sort of approach this time. So,
Absolutely. Vengeful Flight, the draw here. Now,
mhm.
Shadows is setting up for a potential big turn in a few turns. They've got a Jarrall at 6. They've got a second Jarrall in hand, and they've got that Vengeful Flight to make some copies. So if Shadows is able to get to that 8 primal and then make a copy of Jarrall, play a second Jarrall, they might be able to just go off here and just do a massive amount of damage. But chickenArise not going to let that happen. Gonna make a bunch of blocks here. Ooh, but the Condemn, look at this as a
Ooh,
combat
wow.
trick.
Don't see that very often.
Love it.
Or at least I don't. I don't see that very often.
Although it's interesting because of how Moldermuck works here, spitting out another 1/1 can actually block it on the second attack. That's super interesting. So the Moldermuck blocked the first attack, but then made a 1/1 on the blocks, so was able to block it on the second
That's
one.
sweet.
So sweet little interaction there. But actually, no, but because on the block it became a 0/0. Wow, that's so complicated. I'm not so it didn't actually kill the draw because it became a 0/0 on the second block. That is super confusing.
So Chicken Rise took out the Vengeful Flight, which makes absolute sense there. So it's a bummer for Shadows, but
You can't really complain when you're going off of Jarralls, but Shadows just basically flipped 2 primal sources off the top with their Jarrall attacks and doesn't have another primal, so they're struggling to get that 8th and flipping them off the top there. John Kekez, thank you so much for the raid again, and thank you so much for the sub. Whoever just gifted an anonymous sub but went to John Kekez, that was fantastic. So well timed there to gift the sub anonymously to the raider. But thank you, John Kekez, so much for that. We appreciate it. Yeah, welcome to
I
the
didn't even
stream.
know you could do anonymous gifts. That's
You
funny.
can, yep. Anonymous gifting. So thank you for supporting the tournament. Allows us to run these tournaments. We appreciate that.
Oh, okay. So they gave Crafty Occultist the regen. That's cool.
Grab combust, take out one of those Jarralls before it can really go off. chickenArise, a very experienced player, understands that even if they seem ahead, Jarralls can go off in a hurry. So you got to take care of them when you do. Ooh, nice draw. Helio, the draw there for Shadows. That means they're going to be able to attack. And
Sweet.
then let's play a 2/2 flyer and draw 3 more cards.
So how many cards do they have in hand? I'm
They
sorry.
now have 3 in hand. So they just drew a
Three.
Condemn, a Merchant, and a Power. That's a little tough with that display bug there.
Ugh, that's a bummer. Drawing 2 power.
All right, Vicious Overgrowth to draw here. Vicious Overgrowth also really good with Jarrall. So if you're unfamiliar with how that works, Vicious Overgrowth is a 2 power, deal 3 damage with the Amplify, but Jarrall sees the cost of the spell, and that includes the Amplify. So if you play Vicious Overgrowth, let's say you want to deal 3 to the face, and then you Amplify it twice and make it a 6 cost Vicious Overgrowth, it'll do the 6 damage from Jarrall plus the 3 damage from the spell. So we've seen some games end from 12 plus life just off of 1 Vicious Overgrowth. So definitely a good card to pick up there. chickenArise
I
still at
was
17, but something worth noting.
I was just thinking this morning about how, like, I haven't really seen Jarrall in the last week and a half or 2 weeks, since before the open. It's just kind of interesting. Like, it's just not as prevalent on ladder as much.
And attacking in is just gonna chickenArise gonna kill off that ascending again, just focusing on let's take those draws out of the equation here, make Shadows play a fair game. Shadows did go to the market and get that Plasma Primordial, but that's going to be more impactful this game than it was last time because chickenArise right now does not have a way to deal with a 4/8 that makes a 3/1 killer every turn.
Yeah, that's gonna also play. It's also gonna make Chicken Arise's game plan a bit rougher in terms of grabbing things out of the void and
Very true. And then
sacrificing
another
things.
condemn in hand as well. So can also get Edict of Makar, Permafrost, and Swift Refusal. Not sure if any of those are really going to come up here in this game, but
I mean, I suppose it would work if they get Tazarek out of the
yeah.
market,
True.
but I mean, it doesn't really seem like you'd be doing that now, right?
Yeah, so Grafter,
Dark Purveyor,
Haunting Scream. Okay.
Haunting Screen.
You could. Did you counter this? Yeah, you're just going to go for Swift. Oh, no. Yeah, going to go for Swift Refusal. Yep. You're going to go for Swift Refusal and not let chickenArise get that Haunting Scream. Okay, Shadow is
Wow.
saying, I don't even want to risk it with that. That's tough. chickenArise, not really anything to do here. They still have. No, they went to the market both times, so can't go to the market here. Now, and this is going to be bad if it. Ooh, this is tough. Flash Fry good, but that's
Mm,
not going to deal with the 4-8. 4-8 multi-faction is pretty hard to deal with.
yeah. I mean, you can't even attack into it.
Yeah,
So,
and chickenArise already used that Combust to take out the Jarrall, so not really any other removal.
and
Line
I wouldn't
ahead.
imagine
Oh,
shadows
really?
would even bother attacking with that, right? I
No,
mean,
I don't think so.
no motivation to.
Now we've got a 4-4 and 2 regens, so this 3 runs aren't going to make an immediate impact. But I'll tell you what, 3-1 killers for free every turn add up fairly quickly.
At least I always thought Primordial was kind of a cool looking card.
Oh yeah, that's a
Never got to
sweet
play it
one.
much, but
It's a definite sweet one. I'm a big fan.
I think the artwork is just pretty sweet too. I'm surprised they didn't block. Well, I guess the regen would have been popped off of something, so then one of them would have been killered. Well, I guess, this is the way to deal with it with the displays, how you get rid of Primordial. So,
Yeah, that would do it. I think you probably have to.
I mean, um, that's the only unit. Well, no, I guess you could hit Jarrall with it too, but it's like you have to.
chickenArise didn't fire it off there, so I wonder if they're going to go for the draw 2 units from the Void instead. Because if they were going to take out the Primordial, you assume they would do it on
Yeah.
their turn before you get an extra killer. Ooh, this is going to be a nice. Well, I mean, it's good. It's a nice play, taking out the imbued unit, so the Huntress just attacks into a 4-4. Nice little 2-for-1 there. Unfortunately, that's not really
Mm,
solving the problem on board.
right.
Yeah, chickenArise now. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Shadow's gonna go put their foot on the gas there, and Shadows is gonna take that one. So congratulations, Shadows, tying it up 1 game apiece. So we're tied going into this round, this game 3 of round 1 here. Just a reminder, the winner tonight, in addition to qualifying for the Invitational, will also receive $20 courtesy to the Misplay podcast. So thank you to the folks over at the Misplay on helping us with the prize support, helping us get these tournaments going. Sweet new episode they had last week about they did their best shadow cards in the game draft. They've been doing this, try to pick the best cards, see who can draft the best cards in each faction. That was a fun one. What would be your first pick if you had to pick the best shadow card in the game? What do you think?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know. Probably Vara, small Vara.
Yeah, that's a question too, right? Which Vara, small Vara, small Vara? I think
Pretty
yeah, I think that was
sure.
one of the first picks. I think Krull is a good pick until that
Crawl,
gets
crawl is.
nerfed. Krull is pretty does some pretty busted things for sure.
It was a good podcast. That was their first live podcast that they streamed it to Twitch. So
Yeah, that's a good point. That's really cool. So that was over at twitch.tv/Parmalee. Definitely check that one out if you didn't get a chance to see the live recorded podcast on Twitch. It's always fun when podcasts do that live for sure. Shadow's going to start off with a Grenahan and going to see a Wump and Mizo off of a Grenahan. I love that.
can they can when are they going to be able to cast that at some point? Or let's see, Wump. You still need a primal sigil.
Yep, so they've got
Or
plenty in hand. So
eventually.
they've got two Wumps
Okay.
in hand. So the hand right now, Marvin, is two Wumps, Grand Builder, which can get you a bunch of
Oh
influence,
yeah.
and then a Seat of Wisdom, an Elysian Seat, plus another Sigil of each. So Shadows actually has pretty much everything they need. A little light on Shadow, but they don't really need that at this point. So those Wumps are going to come out. You got another one coming after this.
Nice.
You can start activating this. Things might start looking good here. I'm going to fire off this Condemn proactively as well. I wonder what they're going to grab so aggressively here. Taking out the unit with the Condemn and going to go get a Permafrost.
Hmm.
Maybe sick of getting attacked with Molder Mucks to death.
That's that's possible.
Permafrost is a little awkward against a deck with Display of Menace that just wants to sack its units for value,
Right.
but all right.
So I imagine, yeah, we're just gonna flash fry Wump.
Yeah, chickenArise is very focused on understanding what the key cards in the matchup and saying, I'm not going to let your Wump stick. I'm not going to let your Jarralls get turned on. You know, we can trade all day in the mid range, but I'm not letting these guys go off. But Shadows has the second one and dodging the exploit as well.
So Wump's gonna survive, and then next turn transform.
Yep. I
Right.
believe it's going to transform on Shadows' turn. chickenArise can go and get that combust, but I believe we should see a transform one here. Also going to pop that regen. Oh, maybe that was only
I guess
three.
not.
Yeah, I
Three.
guess
Oh,
that was
okay.
only three.
My bad.
So, no, I thought the same thing. So, gonna flip on chickenArise's turn though. I guess it doesn't make too much of a difference, but yeah, I'm gonna go do that here. Take out that Vine Grafter.
Well, that's pretty
Actually,
cool
yeah,
too.
that's
Then
actually
it'll
pretty
just
good.
transform and then get a 6/6 plus a 3/1.
Yep,
You
that is
know,
very good. And also, that means the Vine Grafter killing the Vine Grafter so aggressively there means the Vine Grafter can't go to the market now. So chickenArise lost their ability to go get that combust. Now you've got an active Wump with really no way to kill it right now.
display menace is could do 1 damage to each enemy, but that doesn't do a whole lot.
Block with some Boulder Muck Decay and hope that's enough. But as we knew, Shadows got that Permafrost, remember, a couple turns ago.
That's right. Yeah.
And there you
That
see
was
it.
good thinking. That's a heads up play, right? We need some heads up
Absolutely.
emotes on that one.
Heads up. Let's get some heads up emotes in the chat for that one. Heads up play, proactively understanding what chickenArise was going to try to do to stop you. Yeah, this has been well played by both players, but I've been impressed with how Shadows has sort of pre-navigated each turn, knowing exactly what they were going to do. Now grabbing that Vengeful Flight, going to copy that active Wump.
Mm. Writing looks like it might be on the wall a little bit, although I guess you could
Sack,
sacrifice
yeah.
it, but what
Sack. So can you get anything out? Flash Fry.
could get flash fry?
That's not going
Another
to do it. So
display,
you could
snowball's
display.
not really gonna do it.
Yeah, so you can either get back Flash Fly or you can display Menace and just try to draw something, but this is going to be tough here. Once Wump flips, it's pretty hard to deal with.
Right.
None of those spells can go to the market, so can't really. chickenArise really wanted to stick that Vine Grafter to be able to go to the market, but well played by Shadows to take that out before. But yeah, here's the Flash Fry.
Yep, flash fry. I mean, I guess that would take out the Huntress, but if you're gonna just copy Wump.
Go Vengeful Flight, make a copy of the big Wump and Mizo, and that's just
Yep.
gonna be it.
Indeed.
chickenArise gonna pack